Welcome everybody to the Marty cast. I'm doing it microphone free today. This is just due to the fact that I can't be bothered with setting up the microphone and the amp and everything else that goes with it. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm going to get on with things. I've made myself a beat today. Just going to turn it down. It's just a beat that I made on Fruity Loops with some bits and pieces of different stuff. I can show you some. I think actually I've got an old video on my YouTube channel of how I make beats on Fruity Loops, which may be unconventional compared to how others do this. Other people do this, I think, by collecting a selection of MIDI files and then putting them all together on the screen and then playing it all out like a playlist of shenanigans. Anyway, so that is that's really what that is all about as far as things go. So so today in the Marty cast episode 3, wow, I just turned it off for no good reason, silly old me. Let's find it back in the folder I put it in, because it should be in there. There it is. Alrighty then, folks. So here we go again. I'm just going to minimize that. So this is episode 3 of the Marty cast. It's sort of like a podcast. It's a podcast of sorts. It's me rambling, really. Hey. So what's been going on? Well, for me, what's been going on? Lots of things. So, last week I had some interesting times. I didn't start busking till Wednesday, and even then I had to stop halfway through and go to a sort of a job interview. This was for a place, for a job at a food distribution place. The job was essentially picking and packing and putting the food onto the trucks, and that's about it. So the place, they serve a lot of the restaurants, etc. around the town, food places as well, like the hospital, I guess, maybe, I don't know. And that's what they do. They make they provide bulk products, and that's about it. But anyway, I missed out on that job interview due to their poor choices, because obviously they don't want to hire the best, me being the best, obviously, and that's just how that goes. Their loss. Too bad. I'll keep making videos. I'll keep applying for jobs. That's what I can do. So yeah, what else was happening? What else did I do? I went busking again on Thursday. Thursday was okay. I went busking at Brookfield Shops, which was okay. It wasn't fantastic. It's super spectacular, but I went there anyway. I had a go. I played the songs. I wasn't expecting a ton of money, but it was all right in the end. And I got there, and I did the job. The job, essentially. That's what kind of at this point, like, I'm playing the same 50 songs, 50 songs every day when I'm busking. So it is kind of a job. It is kind of, yeah, it's not really the best. So Thursday I played there. Friday I played in town. If you saw my TikTok, you might have seen what happened with my TikTok. I went live on TikTok, which was nice. Sort of. Somebody in the chat said that I'm all shit and I'm not full Māori, and all this other stuff, and I'm just like full Māori. There actually aren't really any there aren't any really full Māori people around at all anymore. It's all been, a lot of it's been very, very bred out, and that's literally just how it goes. A lot of maybe it was because they were watching my live when I went up the mount, because I went up the mount. I went for a walk up the mount just to check how much I could do with going live. And I went up the mount and I made it all the way to the top live, and then coming back down live as well, all live on TikTok, which was pretty good. But I was talking about Graham Hoete, a local mural artist and multidisciplinary artist. He calls himself a tutu, which is very understandable, because it's good to tinker and try things and learn things, and you never know what you'll enjoy. So and I was talking about him and how he is from Mātātua like myself, and my family obviously, but I mean, we're not, we're also, just like he is, we're also got Scottish blood in us. That's why my last name is Stewart, so it's like, you sort of get that breakdown. I mean, I don't really go by how any percentages or DNA tests at all. I'm not giving my DNA to some DNA company to tell me a bunch of things that are vague, really. Like, they're just like, oh, you're Polynesian. Yes. No way. You don't say. Come on now. Anyway, so had a bit of a tiff, I suppose you could say, when I was busking on Friday in town, and that was just due to another musician who was playing across the street from me. They were playing saxophone at a cafe, and the cafe owner seemed to not realize that, when you've got a busker sort of in your area and somebody's going to come and play music at your cafe and you've paid them, you should actually first ask the busker to tell the busker to move along. And I would have certainly done that had they come to me and said, this is what's going on, move along please. I would have been easily able to find another spot, because there's plenty of spots in the CBD to have a busk and make some coin. It's not hard, but this person, these people didn't do that, and then I think they were trying to promo their cafe or something, but it's like, okay, whatever. It's just the cafe is just another option for the workers that work in the CBD to eat at. That's all they really are. I think most people that work in the CBD prefer some sort of sushi, because there's like 4 sushi places on Devonport Road alone. There's others as well, so there's like Hello Sushi, and then there's some other places, and then there's the Korean chicken place as well, which is so that happened. So it was not very choice to the guy playing the saxophone, but at the end of the day, somebody kind of put me in my place, which was great. They just said, hey, how about more singing, less arguing? And I just carried on. And just carried on playing the rest of my set. And I played the rest of my set And yeah, played for about three and a bit hours that day, which was good. So yeah, that was about it. Okay, so the rest of Friday, I carried on busking, and after that shenanigans happened, a person of dubious note walked past. His name was Patrick Gower. He's a media personality of some sort. He's known for his line, "This is the fucking news," which is good because he does the fucking news. Whether you like it or not, he does it. Or he has done it. Anyway, I think he's gotten to the point where he's kind of able to sort of get out and do his own thing with the news, and that's been pretty good. He's covering other topics and what he thinks is important and stuff like that, and he's done prime ministerial debates and the like as well over the years, and I think at the moment he's sort of trying to hold the Luxon regime to some semblance of task, I guess you could say, just by saying, you failed these people, etc. Which is, just another nail in the coffin, essentially, for the Luxon regime. So yeah, it was good to meet him. I got a selfie with him. You can see that on my page, Tauranga Community, which is on Facebook. You can follow me there as well. I do daily photos of a lot of different things, whether it's what the weather's doing, if the sun's shining, if the birds are chirping, what kind of birds are chirping. I try and do like like your average kind of days of the week type pictures and posts, like your Morena Monday, or maybe if I can do a Tui Tuesday, or Hump Day, Wednesday Hump Day. It's the middle of the week, and just things like that. I've started doing one which is Funk Friday, where I go and I get an image of a graffiti art from the local areas, be that any illegal or legal wall around the place, and I post that painting, and it's just funk. It's just funky art on a Friday. Then I try and do in the week with This Week in Birds, where I've taken pictures of birds from around the place, and they can be ducks or pheasants or tuis or whatever I find that's staying still long enough to get a decent picture. That's essentially all that really comes down to. So that's really what that is. But yeah, no, it was good to meet Patrick Gower. He's a good seeming chap. He's a bit tall, and that's cool. Whatever. Everybody's different. Some people are short, some people are fat, some people are skinny, some people are tall. That's how it goes. I then played on Saturday again at Brookfield Shops, the little shop there next to the Foursquare. That was all right. Had my little sing-song and did my thing, and that was cool. And yeah, there was no one collapsed, no dogs ran, no dogs bit anyone or shat anywhere, so that was fine. So yeah, I did some nonsense questions about things. I was just questioning why Cardi B chose Cardi B when there's cardio exercise, your cardiovascular system as well. So why didn't she choose Cardi P or Cardi N? There's that whole, around the cardio, what's already there. So it just made me question, what's going on? Other nonsense questions was like so there's what do you call it? The apocalypse. What about the rest of the face? So there could be a pocket nose, or a pocket eyes, or a pocket eyebrows. I just wonder about these things. These people these days are out there in the big wide world, and they're worried about apocalypse. What about a pocket chin? A pocket 3-day not shaving. A pocket fringe. I don't know. I have a lot of questions that maybe don't need answers. I don't know. Were there any other ones? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, there's a lot to ponder in this big wide world, And I think people, they really don't stop and take the time to question things, All right, so there was somebody asking on one of the maps groups, the Google Maps groups or Google and Maps Anomalies groups, why they haven't made some jumps between the Hawaiian Islands. Some people, they every now and then, I think once every few months or so, somebody will come up with the idea of, they should have a tunnel between, New Zealand and Australia, or a bridge between Indonesia and Australia, or whatever. And then, you take it to the extreme and you start saying, why haven't they got a tunnel to the moon? Or whatever. In this case, somebody was asking why the Hawaiian Islands don't have jumps, because I think they want to try and build some sort of vehicle that will go fast enough to do jumps over the ocean space, or the sea space between the islands and the Hawaiian Islands. So from the Maui Island into the other ones, I can't remember. I don't know the name of them. Whatever. But yeah, no. So I thought that was quite a good question. Why these people haven't built these jumps, and should we here in New Zealand consider the same thing? Should we consider jumps between the North and South Island? Should we consider jumps between New Zealand and Australia? Should we have maybe 2 jumps? We could have a jump on each island. You could do a jump from the North Island to the South Island, and then line up and do another jump from the South Island over to Tasmania, for example. They could do jumps from Tasmania to Australia, for example. A mean motocross bicycle, obviously. Just whap whap whap. It'll be sick as. What do you think? Do you think we should have jumps or tunnels between New Zealand and Australia? So I'm petting my little cat. My little cat is right here. Meow. This is my cat, everybody. She's Cuteness. Her name's Cuteness. She's 13. She's a tuxedo cat. She's cute as heck. And she gets all the love she can get. Jumps or tunnels or even bridges. Why can't we have bridges, Bridges between the North and the South Island? Maybe a tunnel instead. I don't know. It would cost absolutely insane hundreds of billions of dollars to build a tunnel. Realistically, to build a tunnel between the North and the South Island at least. and even then, you're looking at all kinds of terrible possibilities with the tectonic plates and things like that. So it just makes me think, like maybe it would cost far too much. The New Zealand economy might not be worth actually building a tunnel between the North and the South Island. There are some very good products, I got to say, that come out of the South Island. Jimmy's mince and cheese pies. Jimmy's pies. You ever get to Roxborough and you get a Jimmy's pie? It's literally the one. It's how it goes. But there's other good products as well. There's plenty of other good products that come from the South Island. Somebody on Reddit was also asking why is salt the only rock that tastes good? And maybe other rocks need to step up their game. Like sandstone not tasting so good. Granite really not tasting good. And a lot of other rocks. River stones, for example. But algae, not the one. Yeah, makes me think, maybe we could get out there and maybe, I've seen people actually, they'll put, I think maybe it's rage bait type shenanigans, but they do stuff like they'll make a rock stew and they'll put rocks in the stew and you then suck the flavour off of the rocks, which makes me think exactly what are you doing that makes you think that this is even going to be helpful whatsoever? I mean, just eat the stew, bro, for real. You can't actually eat flavoured rocks, okay? So it's, some of these things that these people do these days, little bit concerning. And that's just how it goes. These people these days, coming up with some strange ideas. Very much so. So let's have a look at this other stuff. There was a Japanese YouTuber who in 2023 set up a system that allowed his goldfish to play Pokemon games on the stream, on a live stream. So the fish, they were in a tank, they weren't in the stream, but they were live streaming. So they weren't streaming from a stream, but they were most definitely there in the tank. And so at one point the game crashed and continued to respond to the system continued to respond to the fish's input, and the fish navigated the Nintendo store and successfully charged a 500 yen purchase to his credit card. So it just makes me think just exactly how good fish are at shopping. So I never thought fish would be that good at shopping. I know I'm not very good at shopping. I go to the grocery store with my busking money and my calculator app out, ready to go, and I still don't have a clue. But I give it a try, and I'm just like starch, protein, flavor, and then I go home. And that's about it. I don't know. It's usually eggs on toast all the time, which is actually not true at all. I've started doing garlic baked beans on toast, so I just get a whole bulb of garlic. I peel the whole thing, and then I fry the garlic in the pan, and then I get the baked bean tin. I open that shenanigans, and then I put that in the pan as well until it's nice and heated. And sometimes I might add a little bit of chili spice, because the chili spice I got, it comes from the hot chili bin in an Indian supermarket, um, and that is, yeah, honestly, it's extremely hot. I've had this chili powder for a few years now, and I will say that it's still, yeah, it's still pretty hot. Even leaving the container open is like, whoa, I don't want to breathe too close to that. It's quite hot. But yeah, yeah. I think the supermarket I got it from is now called Yogi G's in on Cameron Road in Tauranga here. And yeah, so that's the thing, folks, is, they might not sell, your staple, like your bread, or whatever else you might be used to, or they might, who knows. But I think having a good look around and trying to maybe test yourself a little, see if you can save a bit of money by shopping alternatively. And I mean, just going to an Asian supermarket or an Indian supermarket and seeing what you can get for possibly a cheaper price. You never know, Some of these places are right next door to your Woolworths or your Pack and Save or your New World, etc. Some of them are not, and that's also okay. But yeah, no. So yeah. So this person, they had their goldfish make purchase, which is pretty good. Yeah. So let's find some other shenanigans on the old Reddit. Oh, here's an interesting kind of question. How do you overcome being racist? It's hard to describe, but I have racist thoughts pop into my head from time to time, and I feel awkward and uncomfortable around people who aren't white. Strange. It's not a conscious thing. I know being racist is bad, and I don't want to be. But it's more of an innate part of me that I wish didn't exist. For those of you who have been able to overcome this, what tips do you have? I'm trying not to be offensive, and I'm so sorry if I offended. Okay, so whatever. I think acknowledging it is the first thing you can do. So that's what they want to, they've acknowledged that they have racist thoughts coming into their head, which I find quite interesting. Yeah, I mean, I very much like to not judge people. It's kind of one of my more favorite things to do is to not judge people, and that's just because people exist, and that's just that. That's just how we are. We're out here on this planet. I think a nice thing was said by an indigenous person from the American region was that humans are the beautiful strange, and in our own little way, yeah, we are the beautiful strange. We are in a lot of ways beautiful, and enhanceably beautiful, and that's pretty good. We are also very strange in our ways. Our ways can be quite strange in that we kill animals in order to either eat them or wear their fur or their skin, which when people like Ed Gain kills people or digs people up to steal their skin, it's frowned upon. But when we do it with to a moose or a bear or chinchilla or fox, it's considered okay by a few people. There's alligator skin or cow or pig leather as well. And that's with boots and all the rest of that. But anyway, yeah, no, so I kind of do quite agree that we are the beautiful strange as a species upon this earth. We do some strange things that some might consider rather different. Yeah. So on Sunday I went to Saturday. On Saturday I went to after I went busking, I did go to Diwali festival. Diwali festival here in Tauranga is pretty good. It's a reasonable size kind of crowd. There's a couple of thousand people that show up to it. There's a lot of good dancing and music and food. So it's quite a good festival. It's celebrating essentially Indian culture. I know it's Hindu based, but at the same time, here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, we have a sort of a good collection of people from across India, whether it's Kerala or whether it's Punjabi or wherever you're from. Cool as mate. You're here, and that's good. And I was talking to one of the drummers, who's Sikh. He was a part of one of the groups, and I got a good pic of him and yeah. So I posted that as part of the photos from Diwali, on my Facebook page, again on my Tauranga community page on Facebook. I'll put a link in the bit down below, and you guys can check all that out. So Diwali festival was pretty cool, and I was just saying to him about how I did sort of say something wrong. Actually, I said to him, it doesn't matter where you're from. What matters is you're here, and that's the thing. That's not entirely right. It does matter where you're from. Because at the end of the day, the way I really see it is that you can really learn a lot from where a person is from. You can try and learn some of their language. You can enjoy some of their cultural food. Obviously, their different forms of entertainment, be it dancing or music, or whatever it is. And everyone comes together here in Aotearoa. I like to think sort of we should actually more than not come together and try and just accept the fact that we are all here. We have our differences, and focus on the positive of that. It really doesn't matter if someone can or can't drive or whatever. There's you've got to look at it in a positive way and say, hey, this person, if they can't drive, for example, there's other alternatives for transportation, or there are lessons, and that's all right. We don't need to be racist about these things. We just need to do our thing, and it's all good, That's about it. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, Diwali was pretty spectacular. The food looked pretty good. It smelled super good. The what do you call it? The incense also. There was an incense tent there as well, and that smelled super great. And there was some other things there as well with their advertising as well, which is also fantastic. These people, they're not just here, to be a sort of cultural sort of sideshow. They're here living in our community, and Indian people have actually they have a reasonable history in New Zealand. Even in my own area with Tauranga and sort of nearby in Te Puke, families go back, the 50s and 60s, 1950s and 60s, and probably further. And that's great, It's good that they've been here for so long and there's so many generations, I think, as well. And yeah, it just makes me really look at things and go, that's good, cool. As long as, no one's trying to hurt anyone, That's really what it comes down to for me. But yeah. No, so what else happened? On Sunday I kind of just chilled out and just hung around home and didn't really do a whole world of shenanigans. And that was cool. So coming up this week in Aotearoa, New Zealand, we have the massive strike, which is seemingly turning into something a bit beyond simply unions, teachers and medical workers. This is actually becoming something far more than that, which is good, because somebody here on Reddit is asking what if people are planning on downing tools and joining the strike just in solidarity with the affected workers. I personally am thinking of doing the same thing. That's only just because, while I don't have a job at this point, at the same time, I think any support to try and ensure that the people there can see that we have support for them, and we do support them, it's very important. Usually I'd busk a lot on a Thursday, especially during those times. I think the Thursday one here in Tauranga is 11 till like 1 or something at Memorial Park, which is cool. I've held protests myself over the years. We did one. We did a few that was like the anti-genetic engineering ones. It was a march against Monsanto. That was way back in 2012, 2013, and I think 2014 as well. I think I cancelled sort of the 2014 one because it was such bad weather. But some real keen folks, they did it themselves. And that was cool. There was also the TPPA, the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, which turned into the CPTPPA or CT or something or other. They changed the names. They try to confuse people. They mess with a lot of stuff, and then they try and get it signed anyway, and then a whole bunch of governments don't even ratify it and don't actually agree with it. The TPPA was mainly the protesting was focused around the investor-state dispute legislation, where they were trying to make it legal for companies to sue governments that have signed up to the TPPA or CPTPPA or whatever it is, and say that, as an investor, there is potential for this company to make money, and your legislation goes against that company trying to make some money. Therefore, that company wants the money that was potentially able to be made, and the government of that time needs to pay that. So obviously, it was quite infuriating, and is still something that gets talked about these days. It's, like a decade later since I think the John Key national regime signed that agreement. And yeah, and I think it went ahead from there somewhat. Not sure if they ratified it or whether he didn't get voted in long enough to have it ratified. I'm not entirely sure what the outcome there was, but as a group, we did get the local council of the day to pass some sort of local policy to not recognise the TPPA, and that was all right. But yeah, it sort of yeah, didn't really affect too much from there. But anyway, so yeah, so this Thursday, if you're in Tauranga, this Thursday there are protests. There's a protest at Memorial Park from about 11 to 1 p.m, maybe longer, maybe shorter. The times may change. It may move somewhere else. You'll have to find the actual event. I think it's on Facebook, but I think there's also a website as well with the New Zealand Nurses Organisation. So yeah, have a look at that. They'll have a website on there. So there was a person who came through with some interesting sort of commentary on what was going on in the medical system here in New Zealand, and they were saying that their relative is in an Auckland hospital, and they have been told that their family needs to come in and do the cleaning and the feeding of their relative while they're in the hospital, because there is not enough staff, and there's also not enough resources to actually feed the person. I'm sure there's food, but there's not enough staff to actually do this, and yeah, they were just saying that this is a very different sort of scenario that they've seen compared to other things in the hospital, where you tend to go into hospital and you're able to get full care by the medical professionals that are there. In this case, obviously, they can't do that because there aren't enough medical professionals, orderlies, or other helpers of nurses, etc., to actually provide any care for the person in this case. And I'm sure other people across Aotearoa New Zealand as well, which is absolutely disgraceful and shows a blatant failure by the current Luxon regime. It's fully disgraceful. We should demand better, and that's one of the reasons why the medical professionals are protesting and are downing tools and are standing up and saying, we've had enough. We're not doing 3 jobs per person and doing 15 hours a day and everything else, and expected to work basically, their butts off for this nonsense. So yeah, that's why they're protesting. So yeah, it's disgraceful. Yeah. All right, so what is going on around the town? So coming up this weekend, there is the Little Big Markets Labour Weekend at Coronation Park, Saturday 9 till 2. That's at the Mount Maunganui, and and there's also there's no scrubs on that's coming up December 31st. It's a New Year's Eve party at Totara Street. It's a little way away, but blink and you'll miss it, and then whatever. Time seems to slip away pretty fast these days. I'm not even sure what this one is. X Lab VIP evening. We've got some giveaways and styling with Tony Marie. Really not even sure what that is. There's the karaoke night at some kind of venue, 305 Monganui Road. I'm not even sure what. It must be, I don't know. Anyway, but it's Thursday night, this Thursday the 23rd. So after you've finished having a scream at the government with the protest, you can go to the karaoke night and have another scream. So that'll be super good. You know, make sure you've taken some throat lozenges and had some warm drinks so that your vocal cords are well kept, so you don't end up voiceless on Friday. If you do all that screaming, all right, folks, there's a lot of screaming. Maybe try some ice cream. Yeah, that's right. On Friday at 7:30 at the Mount Social Club, there is stand-up comedy. They do stand-up comedy. It's so you can get stand-up comedy there. There's some people, and they're going to try and make you laugh. And if you don't laugh, maybe something will happen. Who knows? They might ask you questions if you're in the front row, or if you're in the second row. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah. There's the Tauranga Night Market as well. This Friday. That's at the racecourse as well. Yeah, so that's happening. There's Crazy Jack's Sound Revolution on the 29th of November. That's Soundgarden, Audio Slave, and Temple of the Dog. Okay, so they're doing a Chris Cornell collection, it seems. Yeah, and that's at Totara Street on the 29th of November. So, yeah, there's that. What else is there? We'll find some other events. There's Stan Bicknell. He's doing a drum clinic tour. If you play the drums or if you're interested in playing the drums, yeah, there's a professional drummer, Stan Bicknell. He's doing a drum clinic tour on the 11th. No, it's on the 4th, actually, of November at Totara Street. It's at 11 Totara Street, I think it is. Yeah, so anyway. And then there's also there's some cover bands, and they're playing Nirvana, Foo Fighters, Green Day, and Weezer. Live rock tribute. I think it's more of a collection of either covers bands or just a band playing a series of covers from Nirvana, Foo Fighters, Green Day, Weezer, and they're playing them songs. Yeah. So there's no, I already told you about that one and that one. Yeah. So there's no, I'm not telling you about that one. It's not even in. I suppose, yeah, there's the Tivoli Cinema has Halloween stand-up on the 31st of October, Friday the 31st of October. Which one's worse, everybody? Is it Friday the 13th is bad, or is Friday the 31st? Is the 31st of October, Halloween on a Friday? Is that a bit more dicey than your shenanigans with the old yeah? What do you reckon, folks? I don't know. There's also Spring Chick stand-up comedy show at 16th Ave Theatre. I think that's in Auckland. Oh no, it's not. No, 16th Ave Theatre is actually in here. here in Tauranga. Yeah, so there's that. You can find the tickets on Event Finder. Yeah, so 16th Ave Theatre, that's right here. They're doing some laughs. There's Latch and Friends. Oh, when did I say when it was? It's on the 15th of November, everybody. So yeah, and then there's another one, Latch and Friends, a night of stand-up comedy at 16th Ave Theatre. So more comedy at 16th Ave Theatre, and that is on November the 7th. So that's not too far away. And there's also comedy and improv on Saturday the 1st of November. So basically, yeah, it's all laughs all the time. At 16th Ave Theatre, there is the comedy improv with Honest Liars on the 1st of November. Then there's the 7th, which is only 7 days later, and then on the 16th. So it's all yeah, plenty to laugh about, folks. And that's pretty good, I think. Yeah. Are there other things I can have a look at to tell you about which are interesting and worthwhile? We'll say we're interested in that one. Yes, interested. Not going. I'm not going to click going. I might go. I don't know. We'll see what I can do. But anyway, so, yeah. I think we'll call that the Marty cast for the day. Maybe I rambled a little too fast. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. All right, that's a song called Chillin' Beats. It's really not really. I mean, I suppose it's a song. Um, and yeah, it just makes me think that yeah, I definitely need to work on my beat making abilities, but it also going through the process this evening, making that beat on my little demo of Fruity Loops does make me think that I should definitely give it more of a go. It's definitely an enjoyable process. It's as long and drawn out as I want it to be or not. But at the end of the day, it was a good thing to do. I felt anyway. So that was the whole tune, and yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. You can like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and all the rest of that shenanigans. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have a good week. We'll see you next time.